Hey, this is Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in the Aquatica expansion, Cold Waters. My photos don't do a great job of showing you what's in the expansion. A big part of it is just more stuff. You're putting more cards into the deck that you can buy, more both character cards and location cards. That's a lot of it. In addition to that, there are three other things that I can remember. There might be more than this, but three things that I think this expansion does in interesting ways. One, there's a little bit of asymmetry. So normally you're starting, it's essentially a deck, but I guess I should say in Aquatica, you are taking a card from your hand and you are playing it for its action, and then it goes to the discard pile, and that's your turn. And at a certain point, you're going to play a card that you have in hand that says refresh all your cards, bring all your cards back into your hand, and then you start that process anew. And all those cards that you normally play with are the same. Aquatica Cold Waters gives you a choice of some different kind of leader cards where each player starts with a different leader card through a draft. You'll start with one of them in your hand, so it gives you a slightly asymmetric card in compared to other players. And I say slightly, really, they're very asymmetric. I say slightly just because it's one of 7 cards at that point. So it does have an impact because they are very asymmetric. I thought that was really cool. And just adding a little sliver of asymmetry. The other thing, I'll save my favorite for the end, but the other thing is that it changes up, or gives you the option of changing up the endgame condition. In normal Aquatica, there are a bunch of goals. It's a little bit like in Scythe, where there are a bunch of achievements that you can go after. And when you complete one of those achievements, like have a certain number of cards of a certain point value, you put one of your little manta tokens on that achievement. And one of the ways the game can end is if a player has 4 achievements. In Aquatica Cold Waters, one of the other ways you can play is you put out a bunch of these cards. You put out 8 cards that are variable. And 4 of the cards feel a little bit like achievements. They're saying things like when you gain a certain... well, actually, they are a little bit different, because the way that first you have to kind of say, I'm going to go after this card. And so using a recruit turn, instead of gaining a person to add to your hand of cards, instead of doing that, you will put one of your mantas on one of these cards and say, you're basically saying you're spending a lot of money to do it and victory points to potentially do it, and you're getting something right away, and you're getting an ongoing ability for some of the cards. For some of the other cards, there's kind of 2 groupings of cards. They are giving you an endgame goal to pursue. So they're saying things like, at the end of the game, you will gain 3 points for every card of this location type in your deck, things like that. So they give you like a little instant boost as well as an endgame goal to pursue. It adds a little bit of complexity to the game, but I really like the option of playing this way instead of playing the normal achievement way, because it is a really neat twist to have the option of going after these ongoing abilities or going after these goals. You're kind of, and no one can block you from them either. And they get a little bit more expensive to claim, but they're always out there for the whole game. No one can truly block you from going after them. So it's nice. It was nice for me to have some goals that I could choose from, where I said, okay, these are the 2 end game goal cards that I'm going to go after, and now I have to actually build up the resources to claim them so I can actually score them, which is a little bit like Terraforming Mars, if you're familiar with their achievement or goal scoring system. But my favorite new thing out of the game is just a little twist, and I thought this was really clever, which is that there are a number of cards that say, if this card is on the top of your discard pile, you gain this bonus. Because in this game, similar to a game like Concordia or Century Spice Road, there is a discard pile based on which cards that you've played. And the order matters a little bit in this game because you have the previous card that you played, the card that's sitting on the top of that discard pile. Some of them have this ability where they say, if this card is on the top of your discard pile, locations cost 1 less to conquer, things like that. Just that little twist, it was really, really cool, deciding exactly when to play a card so that the next card I play can correlate with it. So like if I had that Conquer card, if I have a card on top of the discard pile that makes Conquer it a little bit easier, I want to make sure that I still have a Conquer card in hand so that I can go ahead and take a Conquer action to utilize the card on the top of the discard pile. Just a little twist, a little extra thing to add to cards, a little extra thing to think about that wasn't too much to think about. I thought that was really, really clever. I really, really liked that. So yeah, those are my favorite mechanisms in Aquatica Cold Waters. I might be missing something. If I am, let me know in the comments below, or let me know your favorite mechanism in this expansion. Thanks.